K News, K News, K News, K News.
From the witness testimony today, I know I'm innocent. A police officer who goes to the bathroom 7 different times, testifying lies, in a car.
It's senseless. No video evidence. No, wait until after the judgment.
You don't have evidence to carry the protocol? Then you call the pope. Oh yeah, I listen to Chemebele, the jack kept the pope while I do power plant. Why are you keeping the pope there for? You listen.
They're coming to talk to the superintendent, the representative, where they were saying they will do they want it, do they want to do that one. Then they try and see about the road condition. Now my market in the bush, all of my blue my black ball, some of my
where you see.
Embarrass her under the former President Ria regime. But since the government took over, we don't have freedom in real life. It's a great challenge for us as a motorcyclist and we've gone in real life to say we are failure or foreigners.
First of all, I'm a product of the University of Liberia. I have my first degree from there. I have my second degree from there. The University of Liberia is the state-owned institution, the highest institution of learning in this country.
So how does today make you feel, Councillor?
To make me feel good that at least the truth prevail. We have recognition, and all along, I was on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
I mean, people call me and say, 10 million again? Well, what is that? What I did with this money? What happened? I said, can we arrest you for 10 million? My sister, 10 million? I didn't do anything with 10 million. 10 million is...
Pleasant good evening from Painesville, outside the nation capital, Monrovia, and welcome to K News Essays. K News is a 45 minutes presentation of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. My name is Benjamin Gabriel Kaba. On today's Monday, August 4th, 2025 edition of the news, we take a short break. When we return, we bring you the full package of the news. Welcome back to the news. We take our first development here where the Students' Unification Party SUP, a corporate-based political party, has threatened to stage mass protests if the legislature proceeds with plan to renovate the Capitol building before addressing the dilapidated condition of the University of Liberia. SUP noted that the government's priority should be to address the deplorable state of the state-owned university rather than upgrading lawmakers' offices. SUP propaganda chairman Emmanuel Yan Poli expressed frustration that lawmakers are contemplating giving the Capitol building a facelift while UL remains in a deteriorated state that undermines effective learning. Classrooms are plagued by leaking roof, broken chairs, missing doors and windows, peeling paint, and unusable bathroom, leaving students in a challenging academic environment, this propaganda chairman stated. Poli noted that while the Capitol building sustained damage during the 2024 leadership impasse, the losses estimated at the $8 million United States dollars. The decision to prioritize legislative renovation over UL repairs demonstrates misplaced priorities by national leaders. The students group emphasized that the University of Liberia plays a critical role in shaping the country's future and that investing in the facilities will benefit the nation far more than cosmetic improvement to the government's offices. SUP warned that if it will mobilize students and supporters for a mass protest if the legislature fail to address the University of Liberia's problem before moving ahead with plans to renovate the Capitol building.
And Mr. Rechekum, the self-imposed, the self-star, the most arrogant speaker of the day, that have already allocated 8 million for the renovation or the ongoing renovation of the Capitol building. In the coming days, beginning today, the Capitol building will be a ground of catastrophic proportion, of revolutionary vibration, if this money cannot be remitted to renovating the University of Liberia. Let us say this: we want to be very emphatic and very clear to the government of Joseph Boakai to think that you will use state resources to renovate a building that was spread by an individual or members of the club that are still ongoing court trial, and you want to speed it because you want to use corrupt maneuvering to steal resources from the state in the need of renovating the Capitol building while the university stay in Tata. The Boakai's administration honor the auspices of the Speaker of the 55th Legislature in Rechekum will meet the revolutionary vibrancy of the Student Unification Party in the coming days. Want to assure Rechekum that in the coming days we will make Liberia to ensure Rechekum and members of the 55th Legislature that honor the generation and the watchful care of Chairman Sylvester Wheeler, that recklessness of administrative decadence and neglect will now be taken into consideration. We will now sit here and you renovate the legislature while the University of Liberia since 1952 is still in an archaic state information. We want to say this, that an attempt for you not to stop with immediate effect that quote-unquote secret dealing renovation that is ongoing at the legislature, you will meet the revolutionary vibrancy, intellectual proposal, perceptual revolutionary guerrilla tactics of the Student Unification Party. Mr. Rechekum must be aware and must be warned. We are not talking. Beginning today, the state will be consistently vibrated. Beginning today, the regime of Joseph Boakai will test the revolutionary resolve of the party, the masses of this country, for the administrative and political decadence and neglect that is perpetrated on the people of this country.
He is the propaganda chair, Emmanuel Yampoli of SUP at the University of Liberia. The patriotic entrepreneurs of Liberia lauded President Joseph Boakai for issuing Executive Order 151, which restricts the export of unprocessed rubber and promotes domestic industrialization. Patio says President Boakai's decision marks a bold step toward economic growth and job creation for Liberians. It can be recorded that on Friday, August 1, President Boakai issued Executive Order 151 in what seems to be a measure aimed at limiting the shipment of raw materials and encouraging value addition within the country. The policy aimed to spur the establishment of local factories that can process rubber into finished goods, thereby boosting industrial activities and reducing dependence on exports. According to Patio Chairman Dominic Nimley, the President's action fulfills his campaign promises in the 2023 presidential and legislative elections to empower Liberians and strengthen the local economy. Namely, noted that for decades, companies such as Firestone have exported unprocessed rubber at low prices and sold the finished products back to Liberia at significantly higher cost. Patio believes the new policy will shift the economy benefit from foreign entities to Liberians themselves. The pressure group, comprising local businesses, foresees a rise in manufacturing industry that will create more jobs, foster skills development, and retain wealth within the country. Party reaffirms its support for the president's industrialization agenda and pledge to work with the government in ensuring the success of the new policy for the benefit of all Liberians.
We want to take this time to give some gratitude to His Excellency President Joseph Yuma Boakai for issuing such executive order. For the past decade, Firestone been here, taking our raw material, giving nothing back to the country. Some of you can correct me. They take our raw material, carry to Senegal, process, and send it across the world. We are into automobile and other things in Liberia. We only see the used tires coming back to Liberia written on the Firestone. Today, His Excellency President Joseph Yuma Boakai have stand on the ground of giving Liberia back to Liberians, like he said in his campaign speech, think Liberia, build Liberia, and love Liberia. And we are seeing that today by this executive order. And we are asking the Ministry of Commerce, who is the enforcer of this executive order, to implement to the letters. Because we don't want it to be a business as usual, where President comes with executive orders and then be swept on the carpet, like the way the liberalization policy have been given in black and white signed, but we don't see the implementation. This time around, we are taking the burden and giving it to the Commerce Minister, and we look for inclusive cooperation. The Liberian of businesses, the Chamber of Commerce, the Trade Union Congress of Liberia, Patel, to be in Cleveland, to be part of that exercise to make sure that the right thing happens in our country. We don't want where Seti Brother was given the right to buy scrap, and no scrap should be exported out of Liberia, and the Liberian in the end receiving, we are not receiving anything. Only Seti Brother is benefiting all of Liberia to the extent he reduced scrap price in Liberia, where in the region they're buying scrap for $450 US per ton, he is buying way cheaper than that. And his production are not correct. The steel rod being produced by Seti Brother is not correct. The only thing we know that Seti Brother is opening bay,
He's Dominic, namely, Liberia is poised to serve as host of 40 African countries for this year's Maritime Conference slated for September 30 to October 4, 2025, according to Liberia's representative to the International Maritime Organization (IMO), Ambassador Robert Bade. Liberia serving as host country for the conference is a result of hard work on international maritime scene. Ambassador Bade noted that being the largest due-paying member of the IMO helps place Liberia on a high pedestal with world superpower in the maritime sector. He disclosed that Liberia currently holds the record of biggest registry top in Panama. Ambassador Bade noted that on the sidelines of the conference, Liberia will seek investment from some of its visiting guests. He posted that Liberia has been declared a whitelist maritime country, which means Liberia is in compliance with the international maritime laws and protocols.
Credible insurance companies. Our program, Liberia is a whitelist maritime country. When you are declared by IMO as a whitelist maritime country, ultimately means you conform to international laws. You adhere to the regulation guidelines. Remember, IMO job is to ensure maritime safety, security, and protection, and it also through the regulations, through guidelines that we call global maritime instruments. Liberia is in clear compliance, and that's why we respect it, and that's why our program. So we are attracting vessels. Now cruise vessels are coming on and lining up because when you are in the Liberian program, you're respected based on the quality of work that we do, based on the legal work that we do, that our country is respected because it works in line with international regulations, laws as a country. Well, I think pretty much you generate revenue from that. So part of the money that is allotted annually in your budget comes from maritime. I'm not very close with the numbers and stuff like that because I'm in the maritime diplomacy. But if you go to the LRE or you go to the maritime office home base, they should be able to say to you in terms of the number. Those are public numbers, so you get revenue from that. You have a program that is growing up. Now I just told you about the blue economy that we are trying to focus on, which is very important. I think Liberia is a coastal country. Close to 40% of our country is all water resources. Now, what we're trying to do now is to see how best we can mobilize investment into the sector. Small watercraft, the hospitality industry, those are places that can give jobs to people. So if we harness our resources, put small watercraft, put cruise vessels, put transport vessels on the river, on the sea, to Maryland, to Grand Crew, other places, we will expand the blue economy. Along the lines, we will have the hospitality industry, hotels, restaurants, and everything. Those will create jobs for our people, especially many young people. So those are the way we are benefiting as a country. Again, like I said, a post-Liberia.
Meanwhile, Ambassador Pade has revealed that Liberia is endeavoring to train more citizens for employment on vessels. He noted that the focus now is to train more maritime practitioners before employment. According to Pade, the maritime sector is a professionalized sector that cannot incorporate novices. As such, training opportunities will be provided to prepare Liberians for the maritime job market.
Instruction is to ensure that we open doors to more young Liberians to go get training. Now, maritime is a very highly professional sector. You don't just send no scholars. You got to send people who train, who educated. So what we are focused on now as an institution in the government is to train many young people, beginning with LMT. I do know very well, and the office in Monrovia can speak to the authenticity, that enrollment for Liberia in the RMU, the Regional Maritime University, has increased. The reason we are doing that to ensure that we can train more Liberians and then get a commission on ship. You can send people on ships when they're not educated, when they don't understand the models of shipping. So first, our focus is to train more young Liberians. So the RMU give the opportunity to go to the LMTR, move the LMTR to to a level of higher calling, get more Liberians that train in different aspects of maritime affairs, and then get them on the ship. It's easy to get people on the ship. We have a lot of ship breakers. Nothing wrong with sitting having conversation with ship owners and say, well, look, we want for every vessel to have at least 2-3 Liberians based on the size of the vessel. But you don't want to send people not educated.
He's Ambassador Robert Pade, Liberia representative of the International Maritime Organization. The Executive Director of the National Commission on Disabilities, Samuel Dane, has responded to recent claims by the Center for Disability Rights Incorporated that his remarks are the 2025 United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities misrepresented the reality on the ground. It can be recalled that Secretary Country Director Yasitor G. Dankwa criticized the NDC boss for contradicting the harsh reality faced by persons with disabilities in Liberia at the 2025 United Nations Convention and contradicted actual development within the Commission. Secretary Director General alleged that Samuel Dane overstated the government's gain for the disability community on the global stage. The Secretary boss questioned the number and level of appointment given to persons with disability and criticized the Commission's budget allocation, urging that more funds go directly toward services and accessibility. But in response, Samodane clarified that the government initially allocated $720,000 United States dollars to the Commission. According to the NDC board, the amount represents the highest since the Commission was established in 2005, where the legislature reduced the amount by $200,000, leaving $520,000. Dane maintained that his statement at the 2025 United Nations Convention on the Rights of People with Disability were accurate and accused Sedgwick of not presenting a balanced view. According to Dean, 5 persons with disabilities are currently serving in government, and he dismissed Dankwa's suggestion that Noah Gibson's appointment at the National Transit Authority was insufficient. On budgetary expenditure, Samodane disclosed that the Ministry of Finance had indicated the Commission funds were primarily for administrative operation. However, Dean stressed that the NDC still supports individuals and disabilities organizations through stipends, hospital bill payment, school fees, and small businesses empowerment.
Case in point that our budget, for the first time in the history of the commission that was established in 2005, rose to almost $1 million. $720,000 is approximately $1 million. Unfortunately, when the money went from the executive to the legislature, they cut it by $200,000. So I think what the point was, the baseline, the bottom line, the final money that was allotted was $520,000. And my argument with them had been that no, it wasn't. The money was $720,000. And the legislature just did their own thing. Whatever they did, I'm not going to judge them. I was not there for whatever reason to cut it down. But I think what happened was because they're an advocacy group, they chose not to be balanced, and I wanted the conversation balanced. And emerging advocacy group that just coming onto the scene, they always try to find something to talk about. You understand? So I think they decided that they were going to rebut what I said because they didn't meet their narrative.
Okay.
The budget, you see how much goes to a person with disability? 0.001, 50,000 of the 500,000, and it is so because according to Honorable Kafon, I made this seem clean to him, and I told him that we were a million person and $500,000 was an unrealistic budget. I've been pushing this. In fact, I was the first to start to push this, not the civil society, me. Before our budget even got reduced, when the budget went to the House, we wrote the PMAC jury, we wrote, who else did we write? The Speaker, and we also wrote Honorable Moi.
Meanwhile, the Executive Director at the National Commission on Disability, Samodane, revealed that the Commission is shifting focus from charity to capacity building. He pointed to an ongoing empowerment project targeting 100% with disabilities in 5 counties. Dane added that plans are on the way for a nationwide disability census, a new disability law, accessibility enforcement, and a disability equity fund to secure benefits and concession agreement.
We have a census program coming up because we want to do a disaggregated data, and you cannot have disability equity without data. Data is everything. How do we know how many girls with disability, boys, how many of them in school, how many of them have degrees, how many need employment, and so forth. So that's one of our flagship projects. But for this year, this empowerment project is what we're going to champion. The census, like I said, the disability census is something else. We're coming up with a law, or disability law, because the law here that established the National Commission on Disabilities, it's just but a flying paper of 2 sheets with 11 sections. We want to get something very solid where we monitor whatever organization that come to the country for disabilities. We'll make sure that we have accessibility standard before people build buildings, or people who have already built buildings, to make sure that those buildings are retrofitted to make sure that everybody can access these buildings, and just a whole bunch of other stuff. Then we have something coming up to call Disability Equity Fund, where we're trying to hold multinationals and concessionaires feet to the fire that are exploiting our resources and getting so much, and Liberia is getting so little. And we're trying to see how best we can get persons with disability being incorporated. Even with the new mineral agreement that is going to be signed by ArcelorMittal Steel, want to make sure that persons with disabilities play an integral role in it, and they benefit from the trickle-down effect from that and every other concessions that have been exploiting our people for far too long. So we have great plans for persons with disability. That alone can alleviate poverty for persons with disability. That alone can get persons with disability off the street, because by then they will have had the fair share of the country's wealth. So those are the kind of things.
He's Samuel Dane, the Executive Director of the National Commission on Disability. The Central Bank of Liberia has announced a new policy that says uniform cash out fees of 2% for all mobile money transactions across the country. The decision, which takes effect this August, applies to both Orange and Lone Star MTN, two of the country's largest GSM operators. For 5 years, mobile money vendors have been caught in the middle of a quiet pricing war between the two companies. Lone Star had maintained a 1% cash out rate, while Orange had held on to 2%. But when Orange eventually dropped to 1% to March, Lone Star, many vendors said their profit dropped with it. The chairman of the National Street Vendor and Scratch Card Dealers Association, Christopher Esdo, speaking on a local radio in Monrovia, lauded the decision of the CBL. According to Doe, the reduction in fees left vendors with almost nothing to earn. With over 50,000 members, Chairman Doe said the association reached out to the central bank asking for a level playing field, and he says their call has now been answered. Recently, the bank, through a release, said the 2% rate will apply to all cash-out transactions, whether from wallets or mobile money agents on both Orange and Lone Star platform. The policy is also part of the government's wider plan to promote safer digital financial services and reduce Liberia's reliance on physical cash. Echoing his members' voice, says on Monday, August 4, 2025, the association, through its chairman, admitted that the new 2% raise give them hope and will allow them to continue their businesses with dignity.
The 2% is a welcoming thing for the vendors, because past year back, the Lone Star and the Orange were doing their own thing. Where do I mean? Lone Star was running on 3%, while Orange was running on 1%. And because of that, Lone Star mobile money was going faster than the Orange mobile money. So if you do your survey on the street, you go to our vendors, for each time you go do cash out, they will tell you, for Orange money, they will tell you they don't have Orange money. For Lone Star, they were carrying on Lone Star money. At the end of the day, Lone Star felt affected from the process, because they know they were losing customer from the 1% that Orange went to.
Okay.
Yes. So they decided to drop their percentage to 1%, which of course, it have a big blow to the vendors, because we are the promoter of the mobile money remittances that are going on. Because now we are involved into the digital world now, talking about internet banking, because moving with physical cash a day is risky. So after the 1% came about, it started affecting us. So our colleagues started to get to us as a leadership. Gentlemen, this is what happened. We will shut down our businesses and make sure that we will not do mobile money anymore. So what we did was, the guys wanted to get on the street. We said, no. We engage the central bank. If we engage the central bank, we hear from them what they will say. We decide to do the communication. Engage the central bank. When we engage the central bank, at the end of the day, the bank too listen to us. Bank, as a recommendation made in the communication, the bank listened to us and they decided to invite us, and we explain how it was affecting us. They both GMC company, they create a platform, and we come and subscribe on the platform. They are not giving us money. We use our own physical cash on the platform. But they determine what come to us. So based on that, the central bank decided to come up with a 2% ratio that will balance the both for us. And the 2%, it came on a term. After they came on the 2%, based on our survey, we noted our quotas were very high.
He's Christopher Toll, the chairman of the mobile money vendors in Liberia. Liberia's cultural ambassador Kekula Kamara has intensified a grassroots campaign aimed at educating citizens on modern financial integration. Kekula urged ordinary Liberians across the nation to embrace the Pan-African payment and settlement system and utilize formal banking institutions for cross-border transactions. Speaking to journalists during a nationwide cultural engagement initiative, Ambassador Kamara underscored the urgent need for financial education through cultural platforms. He stressed that market women, petty traders, commercial motorcyclists, and even local transport operators must understand how to leverage commercial banks to simplify regional trade without traditional dependency on United States dollars. Ambassador Kamara further revealed that under the Pan-African framework now being rolled out in several African countries, Liberians will no longer need to exchange their local currency into US dollar to do business with neighboring economies such as Nigeria. He emphasized that many local business people have been operating at a disadvantage due to limited financial literacy, but the cultural outreach initiative has become a powerful educational tool to help change that reality.
How to get a loan from a commercial bank, how to repay. So that's the kind of education we are taking to the people. Also, the central bank wants you to know about the new project or the new program that is being instituted within the African countries. They call it the Pan-African Settlement Program. And you need to know that you don't need a US dollar now to go and buy goods from the West African countries and other Pan-African countries. All you need to do is to save your money at a commercial bank. You go to the commercial bank and tell them how much to transfer to your account in the country where you're going. Talking about cross-border using Liberian currency. So you don't need US dollar anymore. It gave people hard time to go. If you wanted to go buy your goods in Ivory Coast, you got to look for the US dollar. Go down there, change it to the CFA before you can buy. But right now, we are informing our Liberian people that look, all you need to do is save your money at a commercial bank, for the business community, from the marketeer, wheelbarrow, motorbike riders, truck drivers, just name it. All you need to do is to make sure you go to a particular bank, save your money there. Time for you to do the business, you go and transact. So it's as simple as. But we are doing here, you see us at the stadium. We're involving the youth, the footballers in this.
Is Liberia's cultural ambassador Kekula Kamara. At this juncture, we join in the studio for K News Sports. Let's now welcome Roland James for K News Sports.
Thank you, Benjamin Kaiba, and welcome to K News Sports. First Division Fascia Football Club President Anthony Kasia-Coward has emphasized the importance of investing in local football clubs to secure a solid future national team for Liberia. The president of the Liberia First Division League Football Champions said investing in local football clubs squad, especially where Liberian nationals are highly incorporated, will help develop the next breed of national team players. Remarking over the week at the unveiling ceremony of the newly signed players and head coach of FC Fascia, Anthony Kasia-Coward urged football officials and stakeholders to view their clubs as a place of nurturing young talents. Coward said the Lone Star can break the deadlock to qualify for the FIFA World Cup if huge investment is made in local football squads by signing foreign players to compete with the local players who are prospects of the national team. The FC Fascia president, however, expressed sadness about the situation that Liberia has produced the only FIFA Ballon d'Or winner in Africa, but the Lone Star is yet to qualify for the FIFA World Cup. Anthony Kasia-Coward at the same time assured football fans of his commitment to investing in the local league and pushing Liberian football forward.
And I want to promise something not just to Fascia but to Liberia. Football in this country will rise again. We will not rest. I, Kasia Anthony Coward, that is an oath that I have taken to myself and my God, that I will not rest until, and I want to promise something not just to Fascia but to Liberia. Football in this country will rise again. We will not rest. I, Kasia Anthony Coward, that is an oath that I have taken to myself and my God, that I will not rest until, and I want to promise something not just to Fascia but to Liberia. Football in this country will rise again. We will not rest. I, Kasia Anthony Coward, that is an oath that I have taken to myself and my God, that I will not rest until, and I want to promise something not just to Fascia but to Liberia. Football in this country will rise again. We will not rest. I, Kasia Anthony Coward, that is an oath that I have taken to myself and my God, that I will not rest until, and I want to promise something not just to Fascia but to Liberia. Football in this country will rise again. We will not rest. I, Kasia Anthony Coward, that is an oath that I have taken to myself and my God, that I will not rest until, and I want to promise something not just to Fascia but to Liberia. Football in this country.
The voice of FC Fascia Football Club President Anthony Kasia-Coward. The president of Shattered Angels Football Club, Benita Ure, has described the club's last season performance in the Liberia Football Association Upper Women League as a regrettable experience. Benita Ure underscored the high expectation of the club in the 2024-2025 season, stating that Shattered Angels had the qualities of players and technical staff to have ended as runner-ups to Determined Girls last season. Shattered Angels began the 2024-2025 season on a high note, going back and forth with the five-time champions Determined Girls on the league table, but lost track of their consistent wins, which ultimately dashed their hope for the Upper Women League Championship. The Upper Women League club president believes The club was equipped with the experienced foreign and local based players with the necessary financial and technical support. Benito Ure said with the high expectation of ending the long wait for the Upper Women League Championship, falling short revealed a devastating season for the club and also the lack of coordination among her team players.
I can't look back at last season and just point what really went wrong. So I feel like it was a failure because of that, because we had everything. We had the players, we had the staff and everything, the resources. So for me, it was a very devastating season for me. I think that unity is very, very important for the entire team, the staff, the players, the administration. That's the focus for this season mainly. It's not that Shatta was lacking talent. Last season, we had about 8 players on the national team, on the senior national team, Liberian senior national team, and then we also have 2 Gambian players on their Gambian national team. So we were never lacking talent. That was not the... Well, I told him to unify the team. I told him to build future prospects that we could possibly sell in the coming year or years to make Shatta a bigger team, because money will make the team more attractive. Sell players, build off whatever the team already has, as well as winning the league and winning the Orange Cup.
That's Benita Ure, the president of Shatta Angels Football Club, there speaking. In basketball, Sesto Marcos secured a crucial win over newly promoted First Division clubs Hurricanes to renew their hope of reaching the playoffs in the Liberia Basketball Association National First Division League. The Mongols won every quarters of the tense battle on Sunday against Hurricanes in a 73-62 points victory at the SKD Basketball Gymnasium in Pinsville. The win boosted Sesto Mongols' chances of securing a playoff slot for this year's championship. The club has suffered a lack of consistency in form since the start of the season. Sports analysts believe the club needs to double up and maintain its winning pace to cement a playoff slot. The 2025 Liberia Basketball Association National First Division League is at a stage where every club is destined for a playoff to the grand final. Meanwhile, the league leaders, FPRSU Oilers, continue to display their impressive run in the race for the championship. The Oilers trashed Bonneville Dragons with a massive 94-14 points victory on Sunday, maintaining their high gear for the championship. And on the foreign scene, Barcelona has maintained confidence in their ability to register their new signings, Ronen Bacic and Marcus Rashford. That's Ronen Bacic, Marcus Rashford, and Joan Garcia, without making any future sales. President Joan Laporte has also maintained that they will not need to make any use of emergency injury rule in order to register Garcia. Well, on this note, Benjamin, that's all we have from our sports desk.
To Roland James for the passion of K News Sports. He's returning Wednesday with a brand new edition of K News Sports. And now to this development, a concerned resident of Goke Town in Bond County Electoral District 5, John Bailey, has issued a public appeal to District Representative Eugene Colley and Senator Prince Kemomoyi and Johnny Way to fulfill campaign promises made to the people of the district and the county. Speaking to journalists over the weekend, Bailey said the lawmakers committed to improving road infrastructures, completing medical structures, and maintaining regular engagement with citizens. But Bailey alleged that the lawmakers are yet to demonstrate any meaningful action since assuming office. Bailey expressed disappointment over what he described as a growing disconnection between the elected officials and the constituents who supported them. According to Bailey, the poor road condition remains a major problem and the lack of basic services continues to affect the daily lives of residents. The concerned residents urged Representative Colley, Senator Moi and Wade to return to the district and begin delivering on the promises that earned them the trust and votes of the people.
The current leaders say we get our problem to him is said drinking.
Who?
Eugene Colley or Eugene Colley.
Okay.
He said drinking for whatever problem. But he told Plea Blanda the agreement was going to be open. But he said on Fini Bailey. But the only thing I'm going to say now presently, all the promise they say to all, let it then come and fulfill a promise who in power presently. Mr. Boy, on will Eugene Colley, on will Moy, then they come for visit promise. I sure they will come in, but we got to encourage them and you got to be confront. Okay. He didn't want the time he was running, he grabbed Razia for you. Anytime I will put my mission on the road, but say he win, he not take the battle, he not take the battle totally.
He's a resident of Gorky Town in Bond County. And now to draw down the curtain on today's edition of K News, we take our foreign development here, where at least 68 migrants have died after a boat with about 157 people on board sank off the coast of Yemen in bad weather. The vessel capsized off the southern province of Abyan on Sunday. Yemen's chief for the International Organization for Migration told the BBC 12 people had been rescued. Adjudicator Iswa said, but dozens were still missing. Most of the victims are believed to be Ethiopian nationals, the ROM said. Yemen is a major pathway for migrants from the Horn of Africa traveling to Gulf states in search of work. The ROM estimates the hundreds have died or gone missing in shipwreck in recent months. Well, on that note, we draw down the curtain on today's edition of K News. Many thanks to our contributors and correspondents who helped in making today's edition of the news a success. For and on behalf of the entire news team, my name is Benjamin Gabriel Gaber. Good evening from Pinsville.